Peace to my peoples in Woodrow Wilson High School. You guys know me as Dan Trezomi. Thank you for checking out my blog. And today we're going to be talking about literacy and the importance of it, right? Check it out.
Experiment Black Radio.
Radio, sucker never play me. Triple shade of black, then my bleach should never fade me. They say he crazy, New York raised them in the 80s. Killer catch administration, gangster renovation, born of isolation, Asian ill communication, Asian marble, fiber active, pestilential, microscopic soul, sonic remedy, clinic right in the street, operator in the dark, surgery.
Again, to the students of Woodrow Wilson High School, I really appreciate you guys checking out my blog. I know it's giving you a lot of homework. Just a few things before we start. Thank you for checking out All Things Geekery. And I know in some of the videos you're going to see my headline is not perfect. You guys can joke all day if you want. If you have issue with my headline, that's cool. When I do go out there, I will joke you back just to give you a heads up. And today we're going to talk about literacy and why it's important for you guys to read. I understand that at a certain age, reading has become something that a lot of us, particularly boys, right, young adults, that we dislike, that we hate reading. And I hear that often with my students. I hear that often when I'm out in the street building with cats. I hear like, yo, I hate reading. I hate reading. And you know, for a lot of us, we just didn't have that opportunity as children to really get into reading. So as we get older, we learn to dislike it. And that's on purpose. That's on purpose. And we're not going to get into why that's on purpose here. And you could always ask me why I think that's on purpose whenever you want. You guys know how to get in contact with me. But you know, let's be real. There's something that a lot of us dislike. And we really, to me, reading is important. Let me just say this. Reading saved my life. And what I mean by that is I was a teenager. I was in high school between 1986 and 1990. I know that's a long time. That is considered the height of the crack cocaine era in New York City. This is before Rudolph Giuliani. And it was a crazy time. You know, in my eyes, it was a crazy time. And I'm pretty sure that your parents can say the same thing, whether they live in Philadelphia or New York City or any other major city in the United States. It was a crazy time because we went from a time when, you know, Jamil Shabazz in his book, he called it a time before crack. We went from that time where if you had a knife and you brought it to school, you were considered, you know, crazy. We went from that overnight to a point in time where, you know, kids my age had AK-47s. They had 9mm, you know, they had Uzis, you know, like it wasn't rare for you to see a Uzi, you know, where that was something a few years before that you only saw in the movies. So it was a crazy time. And a lot of my friends didn't make it. You know, they're either dead or in jail. And if there's anything that kept me off the streets, because these are cats that I ran with neck and neck. These are cats that I ran with. You know, we went to parties together. We talked to girls together. We fought with other cats from other neighborhoods together. We traveled to 5 boroughs in New York City together. These are cats I ran with neck and neck. These aren't like people that I just were acquaintances, right? So when I look back, the difference between them and myself is that I was always in them books. And I remember a friend of mine who's in jail for double life now. He told me one time, he said, yo, man, I wish I was like you because, you know, you're in them books. You're always in those books. And that had a profound impact on me. But I remember when I was like 5 or 6, and my mother realized, like, man, you know, my son could read really well. She armed me with a library card. It's probably the best weapon that she ever gave me was a library card. And to me, books were like a passport to the universe, literally. Like, I was able to learn about places that some of them I would eventually travel to when I joined the Navy, but it gave me a world view. It gave me a view of things that were different and the same to my experiences, right? They were similar to my experiences. So I realized that there were cats in what is now Mumbai, India. They were going through the same thing I was going through. You know, cats in Palestine, when it came to police repression, they were going through the same thing. They was just on a much higher level than me and my peers were, and what you guys are going through now. Theirs is just much more escalated. So I was able to read and learn about different things, and it had a tremendous impact in my life. And you know, if there's anything they can't take away from you is self-education. What you learn on your own, through books, through interacting with people that read those books, it's a wonderful experience that no one can take from you.
For all you aspiring MCs out there, rappers, whatever you want to call yourselves, a banger for you guys would be The Art of MCing by Stickman of Dead Prez. Like, you should really check it out. He gives you all kinds of advice. So, you know, if you get a chance, pick that up, and you won't be disappointed.
You could laugh at that last clip, man. That was on purpose, man. I really want to make this something where I'm just not just talking to you. I don't like that. So, you know, you guys get that enough, right? You guys get people that talk to you all the time. So I'm trying to make this as funny as possible. Again, joke all you want. You can rewind this and check it out and do that. I don't have an issue with that at all. I wish we were interacting more, but we're going to do that in the future. But again, you know, I know, I get it. You guys get a lot of books, and some of you guys, I would like for all you guys to go to college. But some of you guys and gals, excuse me, are going to be going to college, and you're going to be reading a lot more. And it's always good to get into a habit of reading often and as much as possible. It's a great habit to have. It's something that, you know, whether I'm in the bank or the supermarket, I always got a book to read. And you guys, you know, you guys and gals, actually, man, you're living in a great time because, you know, on your smartphones, you can actually pull books down and comic books down. Ooh, I said comic books, right? Right? You can actually pull books and comic books down and read and, you know, take that with you in your back pocket. And I think that's wonderful use of technology. Anyway, I'm going to talk about comic books. And I know that some of you guys are going to say, oh, you're a nerd, you know, but this is All Things Geekery, right? I think that I probably wouldn't like books as much as I did if it wasn't for comic books, because if there was one thing my mother said, my mother was like, all right, the only place you could really hang out at was the library, which I disobeyed all the time, right? And then she said, the only thing I'm going to give you money to spend on is books and comic books, you know? And that is another story altogether, because y'all know about the 5-finger discount, right? So, you know, comic books is something that she really encouraged me to read. And I know a lot of times people will say, oh, comic books is not literature. That's literature. Comic books are literature. Anything you read is literature. Whether I give you a pamphlet on how to do the Heimlich maneuver, you know, or whether I give you Moby Dick, right? That's all literature. Don't let anybody tell you that, you know, if you're reading, you know, any particular book about, you know, drug dealing and anything like that, that's not literature. It is literature. And my thing is, whatever gets you into reading books, and I remember when I was in the Navy, to encourage some of my peers to read, I would give them like Donald Goines books. You know, I would give them like, you know, books about pimping. And then, you know, as they start reading that and they get hungrier for more stuff, then I would hit them with, you know, the autobiography of Malcolm X by Alex Haley. Boom. I would hit them by a satire by Asada Shakur. Boom. I would give them those books and feed them those books. You know, Donnie's Mean Streets by B.D. Thomas. I would give them those books. Boom. And then they would just latch on. And the next thing I know, they're buying books, they're reading, you know, they're asking me questions about books, and, you know, whatever it takes for you to get that foot in the door. And you know, my thing has always been, if you like something and you get into it because you like that thing, that's a great thing. So you don't always have to read books about whaling, you know, right? Or, you know, like in Moby Dick. You don't have to read books about something that happened 200 years ago, right? You can read, if you like, you know, baseball, you can read books about baseball. You know, the autobiography of a biography of Roberto Clemente is actually really good, you know. And I'm a huge fan of Roberto Clemente. So I think that whatever you like, you can get into it that way. So if you like a particular topic, if you like photography, read books on photography. Eventually, it's going to force you to get into other areas, other subjects, but I think that's a good idea. So you don't always have to read those kind of books. And one thing I learned in college, like, you know, you write a lot of papers in college. One thing I learned is write about things that you like and things that you know. And there's no rule that says that you cannot do that. And I've gotten nothing but A's on my paper. And I wrote about things that I like. I like hip hop culture. So a lot of my papers deal with hip hop culture, right? You can do the same thing. There's several hundred academic books on that. So that's just to give you an idea of what you might want to read. I'm going to give you some recommendations in this video. But again, you can completely ignore me and find out what you like.
Another dope book that you should check out is from my homie Supreme Understanding. He does have a doctorate degree. He's known as Dr. Sujan Das. But here it is, How to Hustle and Win, Part 1. There is a Part 2. You should get both of them. But Part 1 will kind of give you an overview. So How to Hustle and Win, Part 1. And that brother's on everything from breaking into houses to flipping cars and houses and all kinds of stuff. So he knows how to get it in legally. Peace. One good thing I love about the internet age is that a lot of these classic books you can get online for free, whether it's a download or you just go to a website. I highly recommend The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Some people pronounce it as Sun Tzu. And he says in that book, the highest excellence is winning a war without fighting. And I mean, that's pretty much the premise of his book, how to win a war without fighting. And I think that's something that I've applied to my life, and I ask my students to do the same. Whether it's teaching capoeira or middle school or history or whatever, I always ask them to read that book. So definitely check that out. Final book recommendation. I know I didn't make one of any women authors, and I think that promoting women authors is extremely important. But probably one of my favorites, my favorite author, really, hands down, would be Octavia Butler, the late great Octavia Butler. And Wild Seed is probably one of my favorite books that she ever wrote. This is like one of the, not the original cover, but the second cover that came out where they allowed her to put a black woman on there. So it's probably my favorite cover, probably of all time. So if you get a chance to check anything by Octavia Butler, please do. But Wild Seed is my favorite, and I can read this one over and over again. Finally, I want to thank the students and the staff at Woodrow Wilson High School. I apologize again. Shout out to Camden, New Jersey. I got some funny stories about Camden, New Jersey, man. Y'all got too many dogs out there, and I mean the roof kind, So I appreciate this opportunity. Thank you guys so much. You guys are wonderful. You guys are probably one of the reasons why I continue to run my blog the way it's run. Thank you so much. You guys and gals, again, I apologize. You guys and gals are amazing. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Remember, it's not where you're from, it's where you at. That is so crucial. So keep studying, keep reading. If you want to correspond with me, you know how to get in contact with me. And, thank that one particular teacher who actually connected us. You are a wonderful person, too. You guys should always love her and show her all the love that she does, because she's really looking out for your best interest. Really, all your teachers and staff are looking out for your best interest. They may not feel that way, but trust me, they are. So, peace.